And all this is like streaming cable, right? I mean,
here's what I see here, Ty, is we're all getting away from satellite plans, and we're all getting away from cable. We're cutting the cord, and still with all of that, you can get YouTube or Hulu or whatever, but how many channels do you still watch? About 5, right?
You're correct, honestly.
So why pay for anything more than the channels you need? So if there's a way to get everybody all the channels they need in their sports bucket, or at least the vast majority of them with one subscription, that's where we're headed. We're all going to have what we need to watch movies and shows and whatever, a Netflix-type deal, and we're going to have what we need to watch sports, and we're going to a la carte TV. And this is just, a main entree on the a la carte menu. But that's what this is, because we're all realizing, we've cut the cord, we've gotten away from the satellite plan or whatever, and we thought we were saving $100 a month, but by the time you sign up for everything else, you're back to $100 a month. So now we're going to have to trim that tree back a little bit more. So this puts everything you need from a sports standpoint into one subscription. You can eliminate something else.
But it's still streaming, which you and I are not a fan of.
Well, but now that I've got fiber at my house, I don't have any problem streaming it. Oh, okay. Yeah. I've got fiber. Well, we got fiber. I got fiber at work. I got fiber at home. Got fiber at the river. I mean, anywhere I've got fiber internet, I don't have any problem streaming.
And it's with what you said, the only benefit from COVID is that fiber internet. That was one of the investments.
Yeah, now, and I mean, we had fiber at a pretty rural place at the river. Now I've got it at home. I mean, that's the thing. High-speed internet's now readily available basically anywhere.
It's good to go. All right, we'll get to Richard Davenport. We'll also talk to JR, who's got some thoughts on this basketball team coming up.
Listen to that last segment, I promise you, it sounded like I walked into a barbershop and listened to two old men just go at it. That was great.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Arkansas, are you watching this lotto jackpot? It's now more than $750,000. What makes this jackpot different? For starters, it's only one in Arkansas. There's a drawing every Wednesday and Saturday night, and the jackpot keeps growing until someone wins it all. Don't miss your chance to be that lucky someone. Get your lotto ticket today in stores or on the Jackpocket app. Good luck, Arkansas. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for problem gambling helpline.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is The Morning Rush.
Trevin drives the key and throws it down with one hand.
I'm Erica Carson, Internet Sales Manager, inviting you to save today the Steubenville way.
Everyone is invited to save on every vehicle on our lot.
Every vehicle on our lot. We're smashing and slashing prices that make us cry, but will make you want to buy.
New and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs,
just like you see on TV.
Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, all on our lot. So come on over and save on the spot.
Save today the Steubenville way in photo.
Gelco Outdoors is ready to help keep you warm during the cold winter days. Keep warm in insulated bib overalls, jackets, coats, vests, socks, gloves, boots, and underwear. Warm up with great savings on the 50% off clearance racks of men's, women's, and children's casual wear. Gelco has a great selection of little buddy space heaters. Gelco Outdoors, your local store for cold winter gear. Be safe and stay warm from Gelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Freedom's being able to pee off your back porch. Liberty is being able to pee off your front porch.
Yes. Kicks it in the corner to Mark. Out front. Battle for three, and it's good. Caleb Battle from downtown.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
So I think I had the most beefs I've ever had on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I counted up on my rundown. I got like 6 or 7. So we'll get into more of those coming up. We'll talk to Richard Davenport momentarily on the McCarty Daniel hotline, as well as JR, and continue to take your thoughts and text there as well.
Speaking of beef, how about beef brisket? You can find it over at Sassy's.
See, that's a beef I like.
I may go to Sassy's for some brisket today. I just get the brisket sandwich at lunch. Usually go...
get the barbecue Philly, too.
I've had that. That's with the brisket. They chop the brisket up. Mm-hmm. They put the... it's like a Philly steak sandwich, but with brisket. I've had that. It is a full-size sandwich, too. You can go waffle fries, which are never wrong. I like the sweet potato tots. They've got like 14 sides. All of them are great. But you're right. For lunch, that's a man-sized sandwich, too. Award-winning wings. I always struggle to not order the honey sriracha wings. And hopefully I'm usually with 2 or 3 people. We can just get some as an appetizer, get a little taste. So stop in for that. Plus this weekend, we all know what's coming up on Sunday. If you're having people over and or you're going to someone's house, don't show up empty-handed. Show up with those wings. Show up with that brisket or maybe a rack of ribs from Sassy's. They also have the Razor packs that you could order. Game day tailgate packs that you can get. Go to sassysbarbecue.com. for everything you need for the big game on Sunday as well. And don't forget, you can stop in during happy hour every day from 3 till 6. When it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more, nobody does it better than Sassy's. 2 locations in Fayetteville. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
JR is called in this morning on the McClarty Daniel hotline. JR, welcome into a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing this morning?
We're good, buddy.
Good. you know what? All this stuff, I know it's all just a free-for-all, and everybody's guess is as good as anybody's on this NIL stuff, but this is my whole deal with all this, is that this Arkansas edge that's set up for this NIL process, this is what gets me about all this, is that the university, or whatever this is, a brother or sister
collective
of the university.
Yes, correct.
Is asking people to donate to a fund that's going to disperse money out to a kid or a young man or young woman that has no contractual agreement to university that can leave after 1 year when there's more money. I mean, I work hard for my money. I'm sure everybody else does too. There's no return on that investment. I mean, if you donate money to that, I mean, how in the world there's nothing holding that person to stay at that university and play. I mean, you want to donate to something like that? This is going to destroy college athletics. I mean, they might as well just give those 87 scholarships to people who want an education and just create a athletic department that's strictly pay for play. I mean, at this point, that's what it should be. So anyway, that's my beef.
I think it's a fair one. So I jotted down a couple notes while you were talking, JR, and this is not happening just in Fayetteville. This is happening all over the country. It's what you have to do to compete and keep up at this point, something we'll talk about with Richard coming up. But I do think that stings with people, the one-year aspect, because guys are entering their freshman season somewhere, not even seeing the field, making money, or seeing the court, or seeing whatever playing surface they're on, females too, and then leaving, taking their money and leaving. We don't know every little single detail about NIL contracts, but it doesn't seem like anything is keeping them there unless they want to be on campus. I think about when Ole Miss in the offseason, prior to last year, posted that graphic of like Quinshon Judkins making, it's either $250 or $500K, and he doesn't have as good a season as he did the year before because he was injured and it just didn't go according to plan. And he jets off to Ohio State, which apparently Ohio State is just tossing around bucos of money, considering they got Will Howard, considering they got him and some other talented players on the board, just like Ole Miss is, for example. The loyalty aspect, I think, is really, really irking people, and I don't blame you. And I hope at some point when they restructure this in some way that it's at least 2-year contracts when it comes to NIL, not one. I don't know if that's possible. You could probably tell me if that's possible or not, where they could set it like that. But I think
they've always been 1-year deals. Yeah, I
think it is frustrating, and that's scholarship too. Because technically, I mean, you can revoke someone's scholarship after a year at any time, and you can pull it before they even get to campus. Well, but it is again, JR, I wholeheartedly agree. It is a bummer the way sports are set up in that way right now.
Well, this ruling yesterday, or this judge's, I guess, temporary order, whatever it is, in this Tennessee and Virginia case, is worth keeping two eyes on. What's going to happen? And just reading about it, the judge yesterday, if you follow this, has kept in place the NCAA's rules prohibiting name, image, likeness compensation from being used as a recruitment inducement, denying a request for a temporary restraining order by Tennessee and the states of Tennessee and Virginia. So this is going to be an interesting follow, but man, it's going to turn the NCAA and its members' institutions potentially on its ear for a little while they sort through all of it.
So if I treetop that, and correct me if I'm wrong, the structure of NIL was once you get on campus, then you get paid. It wasn't to be used as, hey, we can get you this amount of money.
That's what they're trying to stop is it's bait to come to our school.
Correct, but it's rampant across college sports right now, particularly in football.
It's like knowing you're on the Autobahn and there's no one to write speeding tickets. Yeah. Drive as fast as you want. No one's stopping you.
And the rumor is that Nico Illamueva is making like $7 million while he's at Tennessee. We're coming to the conclusion as of last week that someone, probably another school, another coach, whatever, tipped the NCAA off, frustrated that Tennessee probably got this 5-star kid out of Cali when he was supposed to go elsewhere. And now Tennessee's having to deal with the repercussions of their said faults, which we don't know are true or not. Seems to be the case, but it seems like is it fair to me to say the judge didn't want to have to deal with this? They passed it on to someone else? Or, I mean, in terms of the ruling, or did he Did he make?
Well, no, he denied that, because here's what happened: the attorney generals in the states of Tennessee and Virginia wanted to get a temporary restraining order so that this would stop, where basically you're using NIL as bait to get a kid to come to a school. It's this whole program or idea was put in place for exactly what you said. Once a kid's on campus, then they can make a deal with a local business. There is a path to get some money off your name, image, and likeness. And this has become nothing more than, hey, we've got a $12 million budget that we're going to parse out through our collectives and other streams of donation and money.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we'll pay more than the school down the road or 2 states over, or the other team in our conference. That's what they're trying to get this reeled back in, much like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube.
And Hog Caller in Huntsville brings up what I kind of alluded to in the first segment, mentioning the scholarship and the big money. I mean, again, you can't – it depends on the sport, because some guys and gals just aren't worth the – some of them aren't just even worth the scholarship, to be quite frank, but they get it anyway. You can't be worth the scholarship, the added cost of living on campus, the different things you get out of that, the revenue sharing. I mean, there has to be an understanding of how much you're actually worth when you're fighting for these things at this point. And I don't know if a lot of student athletes, men, women, truly understand their actual value of what they bring to the table in college athletics at some point. No, I know. Don't think. I know. All right, let's bring in our guy, Richard Davenport of Whole Hog Sports, on the McClarty Daniel hotline, also with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Richard, I mean, with talking with young men and young women in today's age, do you think they're trying to understand more of what's going on and get ahead of what is potentially coming to college athletics?
You talking about NIL or
just a combination of where we're headed, right? Like asking for revenue, TV revenue, asking again for what they think they're worth in NIL. I mean, what are kind of the conversations that you've had with different, not just in-state but out-of-state athletes in concerns to all of those things?
Well, I just tend to think they're trying to get us educated about, their opportunities and what they can do, once they get to college. I think right now everybody is just kind of sitting back and trying to see what's going to happen if Congress is going to get something passed to where it's, one law for everybody throughout the country. But I don't know, man. Most of the kids don't really talk about it, but mostly when I do talk to parents, that's when it's usually brought up. That where they'll talk about it and talk about the opportunities and how how they're going to approach it and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, kids really don't touch it too much. I mean, I think they're like us. You don't know what it's going to be like once they get on campus.
Yeah. Richard, 5 years ago, this was your busiest day of the year. Today, it's a nothing burger. I mean, we're not going to get much news at all, not just with Razorback football, but really college football in general. There might be a flip here and there, but it's just not the same as what it was. That's one of my beefs today. Do you miss how signing day used to be on this day? Are you glad to get it over with at the end of the year in December?
Just from the me approach, I'm glad it's in December. Not gonna lie to you, and I think the college coaches and everybody is glad that it's not the old way. But I get, from the fans' perspective, I get it. But from in the old way, you were fighting to hold on to your guys until signing day in February, and it was extremely stressful for the coaches and some of the kids too. And the kids, for the most part, seem to enjoy getting it over with in December. But I'll be honest with you, I think that could possibly change it. I think I've heard where it may be a where kids have the opportunity to sign any time from August to December. I think that's something that I've been hearing that's maybe down the road, or maybe in the next year or so. If a kid decides he wants to or she wants to sign with a school during that time period, they can sign anytime during that time period. So I think coaches overall would probably be for that. That way, you don't have a lot of these changing of the minds of kids when they're committed, and then they kind of flip on you, say in December.
Richard Davenport with us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. The other thing that gets glossed over or lost in all this, because I've seen friends and just people in my Facebook feed, people I know and connected to, their kids are signing with, say UCA or one of the in-state schools. And I know it's not as big a day for the Power Fives and the most coveted, but, still what kind of gets lost in all this is the last day or two of the athletes that, hey, it's still the biggest day ever for their family. A friend of mine, his son's going to Harding. That's a big day for their family, and his signing last week, and in all of that goes on right now. So, I mean, while it's not a big thing for the SEC, it's still a big deal in our state to a lot of kids and a lot of families.
Yeah, no doubt it is, and I get what you're saying. And it's not the same. There's no doubt about it. But there's so many things with college athletics right now that I think a lot of people don't care for. But we're just we're in a transition period, and when the period ends and we have more of a concrete idea of what we're going to have going forward. There's just so much uncertainty.
Yeah, I've read the stories. I'm sure you have as well on kind of what's going on with the legal cases involving NIL right now, and the judge yesterday that kept in place the NCAA's rules prohibiting name, image, likeness compensation from being used as a recruiting inducement. What's your take on what's going on with Tennessee and Virginia and their state attorney generals, and kind of what do you think the crossroads we are at right now with the way college sports is ran? What's your read on all of this?
Well, I understand what the NCAA is trying to do, and I agree with it. I think everybody agrees with it because what you guys were saying earlier, the idea of NIL was once you got on campus, Bob's Burgers wanted to do a deal with you, but obviously it's nothing like that right now. So, and then schools and politicians are getting involved because their particular schools are getting hit up with infractions by the NCAA. So, I heard you guys talk about it too. Just how fans are so frustrated, and it's kind of hard to really be. You're still a fan of of your particular schools, but it's kind of hard to see of all the things that are involved right now, and just love it like the way you used to love it. But we're in a transition period, and it's not much fun right now.
So, Richard, on that note, as we're talking with you on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, could you see a scenario where NIL deals, certain ones, are structured in 2 or 3 years, or is this just always going to be a 1-year stint like the scholarship?
That's a good question. I don't know all the legalities. I mean, that's why I'm kind of shy about talking about and really knowing. What I'm saying is possibly true because I think maybe Herb Street or somebody said it well the other day. Whatever's put in place, there's always going to be lawsuits nowadays. You're seeing all kinds of lawsuits now, and I don't know what to believe. I don't know what the possibilities are. I mean, I think, for longevity reasons, for the sport, you'd like to see multi-year deals, but I don't know if that's something you wouldn't have some, it's kind of like NFL contracts. Guys say, well, I want to renegotiate. Well, I mean, could that be possible in a NIL deal? Say it's a 2-year deal. A kid comes in as a freshman and has an outstanding year, and he says, well, that $250K is not enough. I need 500, or I need $1 million. I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the legalities. I'm not an attorney, so I like the idea, but I don't know if that's doable.
Richard, last thing, what have you thought about Eli Drinkowitz's ability to not just come into Arkansas and recruit, but pull away players to Columbia?
Well, you're talking about Brian Huff, and you're talking about Courtney Collins of Crutchfield, from Pine Bluff. Those are the ones. Those are the type that sting. Before that, really, they did get some kids from Arkansas, but kids that really didn't. Arkansas didn't really recruit. But I think this year with those two is what really stung a lot of fans. Sometimes you just got to take a look at yourself and see what you've done, and I'm talking about Arkansas, and see what you can do better, and then also, let's face it, at the same time, NIL may be a situation where it might have played a role. Do I know that for sure? No, I don't, but that might have played a role. So anytime you lose a kid nowadays, you start thinking, well, was NIL a possibility? So you got to give them credit, on Missouri's end, as far as getting the kids. So it's just something that you have to reevaluate and try to do better if you're Arkansas.
Richard, appreciate you getting up early with us. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, Richard Davenport with us here on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. We're brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter, Benton, and Washington counties. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, concrete finisher, diesel mechanic, or have paving or concrete labor experience, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits that include insurance, retirement, and profit sharing as well. Again, apply online, jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Skeeter is a Missouri fan. He's texting us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. He is a big fan of seeing Drinkowitz come into not just Northwest Arkansas, but all over Arkansas, and getting a few kids. A little worried about surrounding coaches being able to do so to this point. Matt always talks about, and he's not the only one that's mentioned this, you always just feel like that a kid that grew up a Razorback fan, though he's not more talented, might give you a little something extra. And it's, again, always about a combination that we talk about to this point that has something like that. I want to go back to the streaming service we were talking about.
Yeah.
Tommy, are you gonna consider getting this? It's gonna be available because you're a Hulu guy, right? You have Hulu?
We have the bundle.
Okay.
No, I don't have Hulu for life. I still have satellite.
Okay.
So.
I didn't know if that was something.
Dish.
I wonder how many of our listeners will do this at this point. And just because it's like you said, some people just want sport.
Depends on what you got. If you got YouTube TV or Hulu or something, you probably have most of these channels already. I mean, this is for someone that doesn't want Hulu, doesn't want YouTube, doesn't have satellite, doesn't have cable. There's no need to sign up for this. That's the thing. They trick you into paying for things twice.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for someone that, hey, I only watch sports, or I only want to be able to do
sports,
these 2 or 3 things.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, that's what we want. We like having 500 channels on our guide, but we watch 5. And in the end, if sports is like it is with most of us, the most important thing, this puts them all in one thing. You could have 1 or 2 Netflix and this or whatever, and you probably covered. So instead of your bill being, what is YouTube TV now? Getting close to $100, isn't it?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
I mean, so, eliminate that, replace this with this is probably going to be $15 or $20 a month, and then they'll ratchet you up. That's the way it will be.
Yeah. I was frustrated when I heard Roger Goodell give this answer in regards to Peacock at the Super Bowl Media Day.
Just to be clear, this is developing a platform that a lot of consumers are on. A lot of our fans are moving in that direction. they're not just getting an NFL game. They're getting, a value in the sense of $5.99, I think it was, for a month of the service, and they could get it for $30, $29.99 for a year. That's entertainment. That's where people are going, right? They're looking for those opportunities to expand on the amount of content they can acquire through these platforms. That's ultimately good for the consumers, but it's important for us to be on those platforms because that's where consumers are, particularly the younger demographic.
Give me a break.
He's right. But he's right.
Sucking the life out of NFL fans, sucking the money out of NFL fans by transitioning.
And fans paid it and forked it over. It was a success.
So what, 27 million, I think that.
Well, I don't know how many subscribers they got out of that, but yeah, I mean.
That's a beef of mine.
But everything he just said is accurate. Where's he wrong?
Sometimes there needs to be a morality as the commissioner of something that
only
big.
When it benefits you.
And
are you
is
interested in
a disgrace that they are making you pay for even more when it comes to the National Football League.
Well, Roger Goodell's Big Day is coming up Sunday, and Oaklawn Sports is the best sports betting app in Arkansas. It's brought to you by the brand you trust in Oaklawn. Be ready for this weekend with new funding options that make it better than ever for the big game on Sunday. Easier to deposit and withdraw funds with no fees involved. MasterCard and Visa debit accepted, credit cards, PayPal, ACH, and if you're on site at Oaklawn, Old American Cash. You can still pull that out of your wallet and it still works. Sign up and receive first bet insurance up to $250. And with the big game, all the exciting prop bets and all the standard wagering available as well. Hey, bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
All right, we'll get to hour number 2 of What's Your Beef Wednesday next.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning?
Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's. Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. Our high temperatures will be into the low 60s. Partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight. And overnight low in the mid to upper 40s. We may see an isolated shower or two on Thursday. Our high near the low to mid 60s. And then as we head into Friday, sunny highs in the 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather update is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve you. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light. Brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light. Please drink responsibly.
We all think that, hey, someone gives you a pile of money, it solves all your problems. It can also add to your problems. And now there's demands on your time, things that people are expecting you to do. Nobody gives you a pile of money for free. There's strings attached to everything. Mm-hmm. You've got to follow through. Nothing is free.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
So we got the news on Monday night that Devonte Davis is coming back to this basketball team, or is back on this basketball team, from Eric Musselman on his radio show, Eric Musselman Live, which you can listen to live at Sassy's, and then also right here on ESPN Arkansas at hitthatline.com. The majority of the message on social media were not positive. They were negative. And I was curious, as of Tuesday, would the same be on our McClarty Daniel hotline? And I would say they were more skewed negative. Now, they weren't overwhelmingly negative like I think I saw on social media. But as we start this hour here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, what is your beef with Devonte Davis moving forward? I mean, do you want him to quit again? Do you not want him to play at all? I understand, again, trying to figure out what happened last year and this year, but I want to get more into that coming up here in hour number 2.
And we're brought to you by the Fence Man on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Do you own a business that needs more security, or maybe you need a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. They've been in business for more than 40 years. The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fence Man now and ask about 18-month same as cash financing that's available as well. 782-3936, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
So I think my whole beef on this thing, not just last year but this year, is I don't know fully what's going on, so I can't properly decide what I think. Now, some of you out there will say one way or another that regardless of the incident or incidents, what may have occurred or what happened behind the scenes, that you have opinions that you're standoffish against Devo coming back, Musk made the wrong decision. Some of you will say it's okay that he's back either way at this point. And I wonder, for those that are against it, what would satisfy you now? For him to have a terrible rest of the season? He's not playing great this year. He's averaging like 6'4", shooting 35%, his worst of his career. For me, hopefully, he actually plays well down the stretch. Now, I'm like you. This is not going to change things. Like we talked about this a little bit yesterday. It's not going to blow them out of the water or anything where they win 8 of their next 10 games, 9 regular seasons, the 1 NCAA tournament game. But, SEC tournament. But I wonder, for those that have a beef, what is your beef now moving forward? I mean, are you still going to have a beef with Devo the rest of his career at Arkansas?
Which will be 10 or 11 games, maybe.
Correct.
First, I would caution you against determining what you believe to be the pulse of the fan base based on social media.
Mm-hmm.
That is a dangerous way to look at any issue, is to base what social media thinks, because it generally, not always, but generally skews more negative, and I don't think truly reflects what the preponderance of the fan base feel about this. Most of the people I've engaged or talked to in this conversation, in their 40s, 50s, early 60s, they're kind of like, it's a shoulder shrug. Devo's back. We're not going to the tournament. Devo's back.
It's one of those. Just checked out, just whatever.
Not checked out, just don't feel like it's going to make a big difference. And, I mean, we can talk about Devo coming back, but what we need is Todd Day to come back, or Lee Mayberry to come back, or Corliss Williamson to come back in their primes. That's the problem with this team, is they get out talented, and then the parts they've got don't play well together. I mean, we can go into all the issues, but Devo adding him back into the recipe isn't going to fix a lot of what's going on.
Couple texts here, like Rick in Fayetteville on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Stepping away isn't quitting. He has never quit, and no one has any idea of the personal stuff that he's dealing with. Could be family issues. Nathan in Farmington. Coach Musk decided that coming back to the team is what's best for Devo as a person. Then that's who I have a beef with that decision. So.
I still come back to my belief. This is just me reading tea leaves. No one's told me this, but the teammates that he has went to bat for him or want him on this team. I think if there was a overwhelming majority of the players on the roster that didn't want Devo back, he wouldn't be back. Mm-hmm. That'd be an easy call from us to not disrupt things, particularly after playing well in a loss to Kentucky and then a win over Missouri. Now, things fell apart against LSU, obviously, but you wouldn't bring him back if his teammates didn't want him back. So that's what I believe out of all of this.
Yeah. So there's a really good scene in Coach Carter with Samuel L. Jackson. The character's name is Timo Cruz. He quits on the team once or twice, and he has to do like those 1,000 suicides and the push-ups, and the players.
Sounds like a normal workout for me, Ty, but whatever.
Well, for him, it was tough. For him, for a young high school man that doesn't have your credentials in the workout facility, it was tough. So he doesn't make it. He comes up short, and his teammates start running the suicides and doing the push-ups for him. Again, I don't know if there's anything that happened like that where, Devo, you got to do this to this to this to get back on the team. But I tend to agree with you that if the team wasn't okay with it, and it's already on the outside, as fractured as it is, then this would only make it worse.
Right.
That Musk wouldn't have allowed this to happen. Now, again, It's hard to reconcile that with Muss knows that he doesn't have the same tournament success and he is not in the same grandstanding in Arkansas without this kid. Let's be honest. And again, we've got to separate the regular season from the postseason. Regular season, he has not been a great player for Arkansas basketball. Postseason, though, the dude shows up. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Most guys flounder in the big moments. This guy performs in the big moments. So I don't know if that's kind of in Muss's psyche in the back of his head, but I would think the weight of what the team thinks probably outweighs even the last 3 years, right?
So
even
you're talking in circles. I'm having a hard time following your question.
Because I know some have pointed out, well, it's what Devo's done for the team. It's what,
right.
But I tend to agree more with you that it's more about what the team actually thinks to put him back.
I think it's what Chuck talks about. It doesn't serve anyone. Devo nor Coach Muss, it doesn't do either side any favors to end sour. And we don't know. Again, is this a family matter that Devo's dealing with? I think you don't have to be real smart to figure out him and Coach have their moments where they're at each other. I think that's not an isolated issue with just as we saw with Mitchell on Saturday. I mean, that's just part of competitive athletics. People's tempers are going to boil over. The pot's going to hit the flame, and it's going to make some noise.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just part of it.
I can think of an incident with Mason Jones. I can think of an incident with Stanley Amude. I can name five guys, boom, 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 that I remember specifically.
Do you get the feeling that Devo and Muss maybe have a little more frequency in that department?
Yeah, they've
probably have a lot of leeway.
Well, when you run hot. And when you're the leader and your temper boils over too frequent, you've got to allow people grace when they respond to that. You can't get mad and PO'd all the time and then get upset when someone returns that. But sometimes it goes too far. I don't know. We're not behind the closed doors, but I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that's somewhere in the recipe of all of this. Hey, speaking of working out a minute ago, the Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness center and a whole lot more.
They just put the basketball goal up in the racquetball court.
The racquetball court, so you can go in there and play that. Pickleball indoors, tennis indoors, and the workout facility, I'm telling you, it's the best. 8,000 square feet, big, spacious, clean, tons of brand new great equipment. You never have to wait on anything. It is awesome. Family memberships and individual plans are available. They are extremely affordable. You can find out more online at thehangoutfs.com. That's their website, thehangoutfs.com, or stop in 5400 Gary Street. The Hangout in Fort Smith, fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 97.1 in Camden and South Arkansas, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when He does, people will try and hide their faces from Him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
And I am very specific about my burger. What are the best toppings to put on a burger? That is your Morning Rush Daily Question presented by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. To me, it's this. We're going to go with the grilled onions. We're going to go with the mushrooms, tomatoes, bacon, some sort of spicy, like an aioli, mayo, ranch. It really doesn't matter. I just want all of that combined. I love patty melts. I love doubles. But if that is my choice again, grilled onions, grilled mushrooms, tomatoes, bacon, and spicy mayonnaise. That's what I get every time I go to CJ's, that type, with their spicy ranch.
You can get too many toppings, though, on a burger. Then it becomes a mess to eat.
Well, you've seen me eat. I don't really care what I look like after, during, or before I eat.
I mean, I love everything you just said. It's fine. I don't have a problem with any of it. But from an efficiency and being able to eat it without, particularly behind the wheel of a car standpoint, mayonnaise, tomato, pickle, and maybe some bacon's about the right amount of toppings. You start piling a bunch of that stuff on there, and then now you're down to have to eat a burger with a knife and fork, which I don't prefer that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
The worst burger I ever had was pretty good though.
It's pretty good. So what is it? What is it?
Cheese is the most important topping on a burger.
Okay.
You don't have cheese. I mean, that's like standard. I don't even trust someone that's, unless they've got like lactose intolerance or some, physical ailment that keeps them from eating cheese. Anyone that has a hamburger by choice, I don't know if you can fully trust that person.
Yeah, I'm with you. So what is yours, Big C? What do you put on your, and I should have said cheese. I technically didn't have that, but I never did.
Well, cheese is like standard. Like, I mean, it's like we're going to have bread and a meat patty. We're going to have cheese. I mean, it's just the basics, right?
Cheese, ketchup, and onions are my 3 that I have to have. Bacon, you can't go wrong with that either. And then I like to get extra pickles, but I don't like them on my burger. I just eat them
on the side. Tyler and Greenwood.
I love pickle. There's nothing better than a good pickle to go with a burger.
Yeah, Tyler and Greenwood's like you. When you get too many toppings on your burger, it's not good. Let's see what the other text is here. Andy Mountain Home, too many toppings. Ty, what he's saying that you probably can't even taste the meat.
No.
I can.
It's got to be good. To me, lettuce is the most overrated topping. I like lettuce, but I mean, it can just get in there, and particularly if it's too much lettuce, you can really mess things up.
I did not put down lettuce.
And I like tomatoes, but I don't like them on my burger.
Now,
it's weird.
When we get to summertime and like we got fresh garden tomatoes, or like our buddy Andy Hodges, when he goes home to Warren, brings back a couple of cases of, some of the great tomatoes from Warren, or somebody with a garden, that's when tomatoes on a burger are just elite.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah, I love it.
My dad, you've got all these festivals in Arkansas, right? You've got the Atkins Pickle Festival, right? It's you've got in Little Rock there was the Greek Festival I always enjoyed. In Tawny Town, and you've got the grapes. Grape Festival. Like if you go across the state,
you got peaches in Clarksville.
Yeah, peaches. It doesn't really matter the city and the size, because there's a good chance at some point that year they're going to have a festival of some sort. That
doesn't mean there's not peaches or tomatoes or.
But a lot of times they're just better in those specific times of year, or when you mention that season or whatever.
Well, they only grow certain times of the year. Tomatoes are only available certain months.
You can get them any time of the year. I get tomatoes any time I want, but that's the specific time that you actually. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the time you want to go get them. That's the time you want to consume these different foods specifically.
I don't know an onion
across
festival,
Arkansas. There probably is.
Probably is somewhere an onion festival.
I bet someone could text us in right now.
We need to be just doing some live shows from all these festivals this year. That's what we need. Get out, go to Peach Fest, and I love peaches. Go to Clarksville to do that. Let's go down to Warren. We'll have some tomatoes. We'll go up to Cave City and have some watermelon. Then we'll go to Hope and try their watermelon. Well, that's what we need to do this summer. Keep us from boredom and talking football.
Well, listen, I want to be able to talk about this football team this year. I need to be
it's Patty Melt Day?
National Patty Melt Day here on this What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Where can we get a patty melt at 7:20 in the morning?
That is a great question.
Robert Smith says we're making him hungry. He's headed to Benson's to get a patty melt on his way to work now.
I guess
bring us one.
I guess they could serve it. I don't think Whataburger serves. They just serve breakfast. They have a breakfast.
No, you can get their full menu 24/7.
Are you sure?
Trust me.
You sure it's from 11 p.m. to 11?
You don't get this. You don't get this belly by not knowing.
So I went there a
things.
month ago and I asked if I could get a patty melt, and they said we're not doing lunch at 5:30 in the morning.
Me and Ruskin now this goes back a ways, but we were the only people at the Whataburger in Phoenix one time getting burgers at 7 a.m.
Was that Arizona State?
Yeah.
Okay, back in the. So y'all went to Tallahassee. Y'all drive to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Y'all drove to Phoenix.
No, we drove.
We actually flew. What's the long? Jacksonville's about 16. Because I remember I drove that. That was rough.
17 to Tallahassee.
We almost drove off the new interstate outside of Birmingham. It started getting bumpy, and it said new interstate. So, this is a quick way, and our maps told us to go this way. And sure enough, it dives off into a cliff.
Wow!
Just died on that road trip sophomore year. But yeah, I think, and then I guess I went to Chapel Hill, which was like 18 hours.
Yeah,
that was a rough trip on the way back. Not there, but on the way back at this point. So again, it's National Patty Melt Day, your Morning Rush daily question presented by Red River Dodge.
Red River Dodge is in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. log on at redriverdodge.com.
What are you giggling over there?
Well,
about?
we were talking about Whataburger and whether you can get a burger at 8 a.m., and somehow it turned into you've driven further than anyone else. We wanted to make sure we pointed that out. I'm trying to figure out how we circled around.
I asked you about Phoenix, and I asked you about that, and I just
I drove 18 hours
back.
to Chapel Hill.
I just want to make a point.
Good, I'll get you the trophy for that.
Well, I got paid in gas, which is good enough to. I just wanted to make a point. That
I was just trying to figure out where you were going.
I'm a competitive SOB. You've known that since you've hired me. And it's part of me being here is winning, regardless of what it is.
Let me know when you do.
I
We'll celebrate it.
consistently do. It's hard to keep track of all the wins that I've.
According to who?
Myself at this point. Hey, I got a question. So we were talking with JR about this in hour number 1, and he kind of alluded to the fact that these NIL deals are one-year deals, and you feel like you don't have an allegiance to a certain school, which I think there's a lot of truth and a lot of merit to what he had to say. Is college football still in the minds of many in our listening area and in the South better than the National Football League, the way it's trending, where it's trending? And the reason I ask that is because I have seen more complaints, more pushback, more bad feedback in the eyes of the consumers, even though the ratings tell us otherwise, with the college football product. And I know we've had a caller or texter here and say that I'm not watching anymore because these guys are getting paid. I'm not on that line of thinking. But I will say it is different, and I don't know if I'm a fan of everything. When you look at the National Football League, better players, better ratings, more parity, fantasy implications, but the parity aspect to me is better. And here's what I'm arguing. You've talked about that, and I don't completely disagree with this because I think you're onto something. You've talked about with the NIL and the structure and the portal and football, there's going to be less parity in the sport. So I know we don't have a team in this market. We've got some giant Dallas Cowboy fans. We've got some giant Kansas City Chiefs fans. We've got Steelers fans. We've got fans of a lot of different NFL teams. But if you're being honest with yourself, tell me today why college football is still better than the National Football League if you think that it's been like that. Why is it as we're trending to more of an NFL product without – okay, that's a good way to look at it.
It's in our culture.
It's in our culture.
You're born into a fan base.
You're born into a fan base.
Now, if you lived in Dallas or you live in Philadelphia or you live in New York, you got to make a choice between Giants or Jets. But, you don't go to school for the Dallas Cowboys or at their university. You don't go – your mom and dad maybe went to school at the University of Arkansas. It's part of your DNA. And in our state, it's more unique than any other place because there's one flagship university that we all, pledge our allegiance to.
Mm-hmm.
In sports, I think it's become less about team, more about players because of fantasy sports, because of fantasy football.
Yes.
And its overwhelming popularity. You're a fan of a player because that's the player that gets you stats for your team, and then you'll change horses next year.
Yeah, I'm a terrible Packers fan because of the Thunder Ducks fantasy football team.
I'm going to tell you, your question was kind of beating around the bush of how does football – how does college sports get threatened by the NFL even more here in the South? Because college football it's not the national sport the NFL is. The NFL has the benefit of being in essentially the largest 30 markets in the country. Now, Kansas City and Green Bay aren't necessarily, but you look at where their teams are placed. Why is their ratings great? Because they're in the 30 biggest population bases in our country.
Great point.
All right?
And I think it's just because the Chiefs are good.
What could happen? What would happen in our footprint that could bleed off a little bit of the fan base of college football? What would have to happen in
Dallas
the NFL?
Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys get a superstar quarterback and get on a roll like the early to mid-'90s. If that happened, I'm not saying you'd quit watching the Razorbacks or quit watching college football, but you only got so much fan budget. If you had that paired at the same time with a superstar in, say, Atlanta, that you don't think that's going to hurt college football a little bit? Of course it would. If somehow the Falcons and the Cowboys both got on a roll, be too much to ask for the Saints to do that at the same time. Mm-hmm. But that's really what has I don't say held back the NFL because nothing's holding back the NFL in the South, but it could go to another level. if the Cowboys were riding high, they had, if there was a second coming of Tom Brady, and that's not going to happen. But if Mahomes was a Cowboy instead of a Chief 6-7 years ago, the equation would be much different in our footprint.
It also doesn't help that your football program hasn't achieved double-digit wins in over a decade.
But even in a place like Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, if the Falcons were winning Super Bowls and had a superstar like a Tom Brady or a Mahomes, things would even be a little bit different with the Crimson Tide, even despite their success.
And Georgia.
We saw it in Oklahoma when the Thunder came in, and they had Des Bryant,
Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden.
When they were riding high, and that bled off some of the Sooner interest.
Which you wouldn't think Oklahoma would be a good professional, especially NBA sports market. Now they have one of the best teams in the league, and they're about to hopefully go on a run this year. No, but I remember you telling me that, and I talked to some sports radio people in not just Norman, but Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and they're like, yeah, it went from like not being that big of a deal, all of a sudden it exploded because of what you just said, success.
Because of winning.
They go to the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, we get hosed against LeBron and the Heat, and then the entire structure of that setup with KD, James, and Russell was shot to you-know-where. But it's a story for another day. Andy Mountain texted in on the McCarty Daniel hotline saying he watched more NFL this year than he have in previous years because he's turned off by college football as a whole. Now, that is like...
But I bet Andy did miss a Razorback game.
And that's what you've said before, that you might still watch your team, but you're not necessarily going to watch the college. Now, it does not affect my watching habits whatsoever. But I think it for you always
watching games is part of your job.
Yeah, but it is, you refer to the 40s, 50s, 60s, and even guys in their 70s, which is a good chunk of our audience. Happy to have them here on the Morning Rush as, again, a good barometer of our listenership, which it is. And them not watching as many, again, excessive college football games that they would outside of just the Arkansas. And it's hard to, we're talking about not listening, not watching as much Arkansas basketball, and with the football team as well. We heard the same things about Arkansas football that we heard about Arkansas basketball, which is, I don't really care. I'm going to play other stuff around my Saturday and whatnot. And then Sunday rolls around, you might have games on the background, you might be watching at that point. But I just wonder, like the NFL being able, as you said, to gain ground on college football in the sense of, even though the ratings tell us otherwise, that they're going to be able to suck up some fans in college football-centered markets that have traditionally been diehards of their team, but maybe get pulled to the NFL a little more. I don't think that's an egregious take this morning.
But you need superstars and you need Super Bowls. And who's been waiting? I mean, Tampa, do you consider Tampa in the South?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, but really they became a national team briefly because of Tom Brady and Gronk and that bunch. But, I mean, if you had a team that's truly in the South, like the Cowboys, the Saints, the Falcons,
or the Titans,
one of those. Titans, yeah. I forget about them, but yeah, I think people would gravitate to that. Now, I don't think the Titans could ever reach the level of fandom that the Cowboys could, because the Cowboys are a cornerstone franchise in the NFL. But this NIL is a turnoff to a lot of people. The older you are, probably the bigger the turnoff. I think the younger you are, the less you're concerned about it.
Let me say this about the Dallas Cowboys. It's been since '96, right, since they've won a Super Bowl. With the changing of social media, with Taylor Swift, and with the best quarterback in the National Football League and one of the best already of all time, the Kansas City Chiefs are a few Super Bowls away from becoming America's team.
I mean, if they get another one.
With today's day and age, now think about this.
Well, who is America's team?
I just want to, it's still the Cowboys for now, but think about this. We mentioned this a couple days ago. Dallas is one of the, I think, top 3 television and just overall population markets in the world. It's L.A., New York, and I think Dallas are past Chicago, if I remember reading something right.
I think you're right on that.
The reason I bring this up is because of our climate today on how we interact with our sports, how we interact with what we consume, and how everything is so accessible today. Like the Dallas Cowboys, You had articles about the Dallas Cowboys in New York. You had articles about the Dallas Cowboys in L.A. They were all over the country, right? Because that was America's team in the 90s. And Jerry Jones generated this incredible structure for his team, not just from a football standpoint, from a marketing standpoint. Well, with so many fair weather fans today, like the allegiance is as bleak as it's ever been with any sports team, professional or collegiate. You have more bandwagon fans than ever before. They're going to jump on the team that's winning, the team that's popular, and the team that has icons, which Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Taylor Swift, even though she's not technically on the team. And there doesn't seem to be any stoppage of slowing down anytime soon. So if they win, let's say they win the Super Bowl this year, that gives them 3 and 4 years
away from tying the Cowboys at that point.
At that point. And the Cowboys, again, are nearly 30 years ago. You're going to lose that title. You may still generate more money, but America's team is no longer going to be associated with the Dallas Cowboys.
The number of Super Bowls determine who is America's team.
The Patriots.
The Patriots will already be that. And they're not.
Or the Packers.
That's what I was
Title
thinking.
town, baby. But, again, they don't.
What years did they win all those titles?
The latest one, or are you talking about?
No, I mean, since you're a big Packers fan, take me back to the. Take me back.
So
to
you
Genesis.
had
Tell me a
Bart.
story.
You had Bart Starr win a few. Brett Favre won
what years
one.
were those?
Aaron Rodgers won.
Okay, I'm defining what a bandwagon fan is here, folks.
Listen, Brett Favre won Brett Favre won his in the 90s. You had Aaron Rodgers win his in 2012. Vince Lombardi, they won the NFL championships, and then they won, I think, the first Super Bowl.
You're making my point.
And then Bart Starr. I'm not as I am the prototypical example of what fantasy football has done to National Football League fans. I am fully aware of that I am an egregious Green Bay Packer fan because I care more about my fantasy team. But again, back to the point I'm making. KC wins a couple Super Bowl next years. They've swiped that title from Jerry. And here's the other thing.
I don't believe that.
Here's the other thing you got to consider. America's team is under the umbrella of Jerry Jones. Jerry doesn't have many years left. And I love Jerry Jones for what he's done for Razorback Athletics, not a Cowboys fan. But once he passes away, and I'm not wishing that to happen, but Father Time is the king. And that happens, I'm not going to say it's going to wither away, but it's never going to be the same again.
Well, some would argue, and I bet Big C would know some Cowboy fans that argue it, that might be the unfortunate thing that, when he does step away from the team, health, death, otherwise, that might be the thing that breathe some new life into it and take it back to the way it was.
I think the thing Jerry does well is build the brand up. Unfortunately, that hasn't come with winning lately.
But they were America's team before Jerry, guys.
But once he's done, it's going to take. I believe it's going to take winning.
No, they weren't. Landry was a great coach, and Staubach was a great quarterback. They weren't America's team until Jerry Jones stepped foot in Dallas, Texas.
That label had been on them far before Jerry Jones.
I don't think so. I don't.
Well, yeah.
I think yes, Cowboy fan. That title did not start until Jerry arrived in Dallas, Texas, and took that thing to new heights. They were a really good franchise,
I think you're right
like
about
the
that.
Pittsburgh Steelers and like some other great NFL teams. They were not America's team till that point.
Hey, I want to invite you over to TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. They got new happy hour specials twice daily, 3 to 6, and then 9 to close. Half-price drinks from their menu that you can choose from and save some money with half-price drinks, and $5 select appetizers that include potato skins, spinach dip, mozzarella sticks, pot stickers, and steakhouse meatballs. So try out half-price drinks and $5 appetizers. And don't forget, on Mondays, you can get 50-cent wings. They do that every Monday. I know you love the wings. Every Monday from 5 to close, 50-cent wings at TGI Fridays. And you can get one of those big wing platters and get ready to go for the big game as well. Half-price drinks, $5 appetizers, 3 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to close as well. Also 50-cent wings on Monday at TGI Fridays, 540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
So again, we started this conversation with college football and the NFL, how much the NFL could gain and what's the difference now between college and the NFL, that the Chargers were a team, this guy out of the 479 that apparently, let's see, Dr. Tyler in Fayetteville, I think is his name, than a team he watched in San Diego when he lived there. And then when he came to Arkansas to go to school at Harding, his roommate was surprised he didn't watch a lot of college football, started following the Razorbacks, and he feels like the passion of college football fans are better than the National Football League. And you use the word culture, Christian. I think that's a great word to kind of separate the two. NFL has great atmospheres, right? Like Arrowhead is an unbelievable place to watch a game, tailgate before a game, walk out after a win. I've been to both NFL games on Sunday, and I've been to college football games on Saturday. There is no comparison between the two. None whatsoever. College football wipes the floor on a Saturday than what anything the NFL offers on a Sunday. You can talk about the pizzazz. You can talk about what's going on in Vegas. It's not close to me at all.
Ratings would say otherwise.
But that's on television, okay? And the product I'm not denying is better, but I'm talking about when you go to that stadium in the fall, there is no comparison between going to a great game in college, a rivalry game, a primetime game on a Saturday, than there is to go to an NFL game on a Sunday. It's a more business-like
atmosphere on Sunday. I'll say this. I just sent this to you over the phone, but the moniker America's Team started in 1979. It wasn't self-given. It was that name of America's Team was given by Pat Summerall,
an Arkansas Razorback.
Yeah, so
one of the great broadcasters.
Started in '79, so it wasn't with Jerry Jones. It was
Jerry took it to new heights.
said, long before Jerry Jones, the name or the label America's. Well, I mean, let's not let the facts get in the way of anything we're saying here. But they'd been America's Team long before Jerry Jones showed up. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is their number. Now is the time to book with winter rates that are in effect at Gaston's. It's the place on the White River, the place of record, if you will, to book your guided fishing trips, to be home base for when you visit North Central Arkansas and you want to fish at the White River. I was talking with some friends yesterday about a trip to the White River. They love going a couple times a year and waiting on some of this spring weather to get here. Right now, some great fishing on the White River. So call Gaston's and book your trip now. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 97.1 in Camden and South Arkansas, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
That's my hero, who I want to be when I grow up.
This is the Morning Rush.
Sunday, February 11th. There's only one event on everyone's mind. The store-wide 30% off sale at Diamond Center. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., everything in the store is 30% off. That leaves you plenty of time to do your shopping before the big game. Plus, test your throwing arm in the football toss for a chance to win up to an additional 10% off your purchase. Diamond Center, Sunday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 30% off store-wide. Don't fumble this opportunity. Diamond Center, 151 West Dixon in Fayetteville and 4700 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we can do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache. Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. We know that now more than ever, you want to maximize your tax refund, and we're here to help with road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles. They are simply the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our experience and relationships with the banks and lenders helps us get the payment you need while keeping more of your money in your pocket. Maximizing your money, another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Now, in our last conversation, Tim in Fayetteville texted on the McCarty Daniel hotline. He disagrees with me. He's been in many college games, many Razorback games over the years. He's also been in NFL games in Philly, Pittsburgh, KC, Seattle, Dallas, and they all wipe the floor of every college venue I've ever been to. It's been to Florida, Bama, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Ole Miss. Guys, what, Christian, I'm assuming you've been to a Cowboys game. Tommy, you've been to you've told me you've been to Arrowhead, right?
I've been to Arrowhead a few times. Okay. I've been to several Cowboys games, old stadium and the current one. I've been to a game at New Orleans, went to a Monday Night Football game there, played the Dolphins a couple years ago.
So what's when I'm very firm in what I believe in that, what is the better college football?
Here's the difference. Like you go to a game, I'm sorry, Big Steve. You go to a game in New Orleans, the Superdome sits downtown, metro, big, bigger suburban area. There's not the tailgating around it. There's not, when you have a game on campus and you got people pulling up smokers and it's an all-day festivity, it's just a different atmosphere. Go to a pro game, parking lots open about 4 hours before. Even in Kansas City, that's as close to a college atmosphere. I think you're talking about atmosphere. Honestly, the stadiums, in these college stadiums are just as nice and in some cases nicer than the pro stadiums.
NFL feels more big time.
Yeah, it's a business feel at an NFL game.
And, the playoffs, like Kansas City, the Chiefs, a playoff game, I'm sure you can compare that to atmosphere in college football. But as far as atmosphere, Ty, I agree. I mean, college football, when it's a big game between Auburn and Alabama, for example, that's as big as it gets. Michigan, Ohio State, I'm sure is pretty good too.
Like if you gave me the choice next year with Jim Harbaugh coming to the league to see the first edition of the Los Angeles Chargers coming to Arrowhead, which will be an insane atmosphere. First time Harbaugh's ever been there as the Chargers head coach. Divisional game, great game. Or even the Raiders coming in, which you've talked about.
Been to a Raiders
and that's a huge rivalry between those two,
Denver's
right?
Another big one.
If I had a choice to go there for that one of those divisional games, or a choice to go to like Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Michigan, pick a great rivalry in college football, I'm going to the college football one every time. Even if I don't have any allegiance whatsoever to any player, coach, or school.
But you're a college football fan. You're a bigger college football fan. You're a fantasy football NFL fan.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's a good way to label it, I think. So, yeah. No, I think that is a good way. I love the NFL just for different reasons at some point. All right, let's get to some news here in your Hog Update brought to you by Mr. Sparky. First thing I want to start with is a couple All-Americans, and I text Oliver Grigg, who's the communications director for Razorback Baseball, to make sure. One of my beefs, Tommy, so I'm terrible with names, pronouncing them and remembering them. I want to see if you can say this after I do. Vahiva Aloy, Arkansas's newest player from Sacramento State. Can you say that?
Vahiva
Aloy. Yeah. It took me like 10 times to say that last night.
Took me once.
He is a second-team All-American along with Hagen Smith by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. Mason Molina, the tech transfer, is a third-team starting pitcher. I think that's what's encouraging about these upcoming rankings that you see is, one, knock on wood, hopefully no pitcher gets injured at any point, but a lot of these preseason accolades are getting is with this pitching staff. And we always talk about the amount of pitching you need to get to Omaha, and not just get to Omaha, but survive in Omaha. I mean, you've got Hagen Smith, Brady Tyre, this Molina kid, Dietz is the young kid. Apparently Fouch has been slinging and dealing. And there's a lot of guys starting next Friday that you're going to get introduced to or kind of remember from last year that hopefully will be a big part of this team this season.
Especially as often as it seems like the Arkansas Bats go cold in the postseason sometimes. It's not just Arkansas. I'm sure a lot of good teams have droughts in the playoffs, but when you're not hitting great, you've got to have shutdown pitching that you can rely on in a 2-1 game or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I agree with what he's saying. I just think there's undue pressure on this baseball program because of what's happened, and I don't think it's fair. I think we've seen it with there was undue pressure put on the basketball team because of the lackluster football season. Now you've had a men's basketball year that hadn't went to expectations, coupled with football, and now I think it just makes even more pressure with the fans on this baseball team. Hopefully they don't feel it. Hopefully we just enjoy what we have here. Let's have something nice here, but I hear too many people, well, after football and basketball, this baseball team better perform. Well, just chill out. What happens in football and basketball has nothing to do with what's going on with Dave's program.
It's got to be a beef of Dave's that they just get thrown the pressure if the football – and luckily the basketball team the last 3 years have been – I know last year regular season, but you beat the defending national champion. I would characterize it as a good ending. Not a great season, but a good ending. And then 2 previous years, great Elite Eights, great runs. So you hadn't had that following pressure right after baseball, but this year is different. And I would think I don't know if Dave's ever been asked this question, but it's like, does it irritate you when the football team, the basketball team stink, and then all the pressure's lumped on the baseball team to be good?
We sacrificed them.
He would probably take some roundabout, well, I don't think anything have to weigh with doing one another. But I guarantee you he's not the biggest fan of that. When Arkansas fans, again, push, like we're saying, all this want, all this need onto a baseball team that could deliver, but it depends on what you want them to
Dave's
deliver.
Paying a lot of attention to that. I mean, you listen to him, you sit with him. So I mean, I just hope that the sense of the field doesn't come through that netting to the team. I don't think it will. I don't think one has anything to do with the other. I just get tired of people talking about that.
I think he puts enough pressure on himself.
Exactly.
To win.
Exactly.
All right, last thing here in your Hog update. Eric Musselman earlier this week talking about them being halfway through the season, 9 games in, not where you want to be in conference. What do the remaining non-regular season games look like?
You know, we're halfway through the conference play, and we have not played like we had hoped, and it's our chance or our turn to try to get better over this week, and that's what we're going to do. We gave the guys off on Sunday, and we're going to roll through this week in practice. We're not going to take off on Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday. We're grinding, man. We're trying to get better. We have a lot of areas we have to improve on, and they're not going to be a midweek off day.
I think you or Chuck said it earlier this week. Practice is probably not going to be that fun at any point this week.
Well, but grinding them into the court's not going to improve things either. This isn't. I mean, you're not trying to. I don't think it's an attention problem. I think these issues go far beyond just having a weighted vest practice and that'll fix everything. We're way past that.
Yep. That's going to do it for your Hog Update, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, Clay Henry coming up. He'll join the conversation in a minute. Hour 3 on the way. We're brought to you by the Hickey and Hull Law Partners, Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, also Mena and Little Rock. You need an attorney that's experienced and will fight for you aggressively from your corner. You need Brad Hall and Kevin Hickey at the Hickey and Hull Law Partners and their team with over 7 decades of combined experience. One number to call, 479-434-2414. Family law, criminal matters, civil matters, they handle everything. 479-434-2414 or go to kevinhickeylaw.com. Things are about to get better with the Hickey and Hull Law Partners.
All right, when we return here on the Morning Rush, we're going to talk to the Hall of Famer Clay Henry in Hour 3 next.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and on select hay tools. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7. No matter the job, hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Now is the best time to get a truckload of savings on the trusted quality and efficient power of New Holland Equipment. Offer ends March 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification at CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard term, conditions, and other restrictions apply.
Semaglutide and Teraziptide is a weight loss game changer. This is what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas and Missouri, in-office or telemedicine visits available. To schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
3rd District Arkansans have a proven leader in Washington, United States Representative Steve Womack. As mayor, Representative Womack led an impressive transformation of the city of Rogers with more than $1 billion in local development. In the military, Colonel Womack commanded troops at every level, including leading his battalion on a successful deployment to the Middle East following 9/11. In Congress, Representative Womack led the House Budget Committee in 2018, co-chaired the Joint Select Committee on Budget Process Reform, and currently serves as a senior appropriator. Throughout Arkansas's 3rd District, you can see his work on vital infrastructure like I-49 and XNA.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963.
Benefiting Arkansas communities. On March 5th, re-elect a proven leader, Representative Steve Womack.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. Our high temperatures will be into the low 60s, partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight, and overnight low in the mid to upper 40s. We may see an isolated shower or two on Thursday, our high near the low to mid 60s, and then as we head into Friday, sunny highs in the 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather update is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Gladwell.
You're listening to the Morning Rush,
you.
live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
We all think that, hey, someone gives you a pile of money, it solves all your problems. It can also add to your problems. And now there's demands on your time, things that people are expecting you to do. Nobody gives you a pile of money for free. There's strings attached to everything. Mm-hmm. You've got to follow through. Nothing is free.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush. We were talking a little college football NFL comparisons. I know Clay has told our audience and told us he's watching a little more NFL this year. I want to talk about those comparisons and a little Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes as well, as they're trying to win their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years.
Brought to you by Wheels RV. Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels right now. Now through the end of February, they're rolling out the red carpet with exclusive employee pricing on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what they pay. It's their way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models and RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. It's never been done before. Employee pricing on select in-stock trailers right now. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
I have just one question for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
Here he is. The Clay Henry.
Clay, we got the final football game until August. I know there's that, I always get it mixed up, the AFL or the whatever it's called that they've merged it, that we're going to see spring. I'm not going to watch any of that. I'm not going to watch till college football comes back in August. Do you think the NFL has a chance to maybe suck up some college fans based on how college football is trending more towards the National Football League than ever before?
I don't think that's what people will do. I mean, I think there'll still be casual watchers, but I think what you're seeing is that people are just kind of pushing away from college sports, not to watch NFL. Full confession, I probably watched more this year, but gosh, I didn't watch any for a long time because the magazine was really a incredible project on Sundays that by about 3 or 4 o'clock I was exhausted, been up late the night before, to put out a magazine every week, and you got to get it to the printer by about 2 p.m. on Sunday. That's a bear to do, and I would just crash, take a nap, have dinner, go to bed. That was my Sunday afternoon. So there wasn't any NFL. So when you say I've watched more of late, well, that's just because I'm not doing the magazine anymore. There's some energy on Sunday to watch football. But I'll go back and forth from PGA Tour golf. Tommy probably does the same thing. If there's a tournament that's, I know he's a golfer. Ty, you're not a golfer. You're not
a golf watcher.
Well, you're not a serious enough golfer that you want to see swings and you want to see grips on. Those are the things Tommy and I are looking at. We're not just looking at, okay, who's winning.
I wanted to see that 50-mile-an-hour wind and them try to play in it at Pebble, but that didn't happen.
50 miles an hour?
Yeah, that's why they didn't play.
Yeah, that's why
the
they didn't
last
play.
2 days. Yeah. So, yep.
Well, you don't have National Signing Day today, really. Technically it's today, but there's nothing that's going to happen. The Super Bowl,
nothing interesting.
Yeah, nothing. The Super Bowl is really consuming that, and that's where I look at it. Like I look at a week like today or a day like today, where college has been on the forefront of a lot of the discussion. I hadn't heard a peep about National Signing Day. It's all what's happening in Vegas on Sunday. Really, what's happened in Vegas the last week and a half or so. And again, it hasn't helped that Arkansas really hasn't been good the last 10 or so years. But I do find it interesting, like you said, that it's not – it hasn't just like the NFL hasn't necessarily sucked you in, but it's just kind of on at this point because you don't have as much work to do nowadays.
Yeah, and got to be honest, we all were pretty excited for those those championship games that there were Razorbacks involved.
Oh yeah,
it's that just changes things, and I've got a little bit of a fascination watching Lamar Jackson because he played for Petrino. And you keep looking at that, and the things that he does that are extraordinary. But it's still great, compelling watch. The NFL is everybody says it's the purest form of football. That's all it is. There's not they don't really have bands. They might Washington Redskins might have a band. It's completely different. Let's just put it that way.
So on the subject of the NFL, Andy Reid has been a big storyline this week. And Clark Hunt got asked, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, the son of Lamar Hunt, got asked about his head coach. Here's what he says in regards to his potential retirement.
I've been fascinated to see the number of articles out there speculating about Andy's future. I have no sense from him that he's ready to hang it up. He loves what he's doing. He is energized by this team. He has one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So I'm not expecting him to step down at the end of the season, and look forward, hopefully, to him coaching the Chiefs for many more years. And I know he loves coaching Patrick. The two of them, their minds, I think, really think alike. Andy's in the middle of one of the greatest runs in NFL history right now in terms of AFC Championship success, Super Bowl success. So hopefully that's a motivating factor for him to stay with us for a long time.
So, again, that's, the owner talking about his head coach. I wonder from this standpoint, what is more likely to happen or happen first? Does a rift develop between Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes like it often has between great players and great coaches at the end of dynasties? Or does Reid at 65 years old, Clay, hang it up? And the reason I want to ask you is because I know you're semi-retired. You're still doing stuff with us. You're still doing stuff at some other places. But, he got asked, when is the best time to retire? And he said, I'll know. Tommy made a great point before the show. Why would you retire with the best quarterback, not just in the NFL, but one of the best of all time? I mean, do you expect that to happen anytime soon with the success they've been having?
No, and this all started when Adam Schefter was doing a show, and he just kind of speculated, hey, this could happen. Nick Saban, that came out of the blue. This could happen. So, but I don't think it's anything that sparked that other than just saying, he's going to retire at some point. Could it be this year? Well, no, I don't think so. And then the other part about it is, those two personalities seem like they are not the sort that goes out, puts the other one on the limb, and wants to watch him fall. They seem to want to be together in that a rift. I just can't imagine that with those two personalities. They don't seem to be that way. Mahomes is anything but a prima donna. He's wants to help his teammates. He wants to do things in the community. I mean, I know he's getting paid a lot, but he doesn't act like that. And other than he has extra money and likes to give back. And then Andy Reid, you get the sense, even in those commercials, that he's just a good dude. I mean, he could be acting. I don't think he is. I think he's just and that's part of the magic between those guys.
Showing more personality in KC, Tommy, they did in Philly. I mean, I don't remember him sporting Hawaiian shirts up there. I know it's a little colder up there, even though it gets cold in KC, but it helps when you're winning Super Bowls. But definitely
wearing a Hawaiian shirt that's now putting your personality out there.
I don't remember him doing that much in Philly. He is more open in Kansas City than he was ever in Philadelphia.
And you're probably paying a whole lot more attention to Andy Reid. Yeah, winning goes with all of that. But I'm just telling. Why would you walk away? As a coach. Any coach at any position, whether it's offensive line, head coach, defensive backs, what you dream of coaching someone as talented as Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you just hope you hit the lottery from a talent standpoint someday, because you don't coach guys up to the level of Patrick Mahomes. They're born with it. They've either got it or they don't. You could refine some things, but Clay, you've been around a lot more coaches than me. That's what coaches sit around and dream about, is finally getting someone on your roster that has everything
generational
that Mahomes brings with him.
Yeah.
You don't walk away from that.
No, it's it's like having a McFadden or a Sean Andrews. It's and then
except it lasts longer than 4
so
years
I've
in
got
the pros.
Tommy Brazier, who's retired in Bainbridge Island, Washington. He coached a long time with Andy Reid, and he told me, he said he is the same now that he was the first day he met him. So that might contradict a little bit what you're thinking, Ty. I don't know about, his attire, shirts, or whatever, but would you ever wear a Hawaiian shirt in Philadelphia? I don't think you would.
No, probably not in the winter, of course.
I don't mean, at the OTAs in the spring. That's not a first. You might get booed.
Only if it's made of Kevlar.
They look for a reason to boo you.
Yeah, that is one of the toughest sports cities in
sure
the country to coach at any point. I know that, again, you were talking about Jeremiah Washburn earlier this week on Derek or Ruskin and Zach, and I know they had a lot of success last year. Didn't go according to plan.
No.
It's crazy how quick the fans have turned on Nick Sirianni and really the Eagles overall after being in the Super Bowl a previous year.
Yeah, I've talked with Jim a little. Jim Washburn,
Jim Washburn, sorry,
is a buddy. Yeah, but Jeremiah's with Philadelphia. Jim did some work with Cleveland this year, even though he's in his 70s. Like advanced scouting, which all you're doing is looking at a computer screen. But so it's physically his out of rhythm heart won't matter. But the Eagles, they lost 5 starters. That were one retire, some free agents. And they brought in some of those really talented guys from Georgia. The defensive players. And they did what a lot first-year players. They're like, man, this is different.
Yeah.
This is 20 games. Counting preseason. This isn't the same. And they struggled on defense. Didn't have the sack totals. Anyway, I don't know. You didn't really want to get into the Eagles, but
you're good.
This is a fun week because the NFL is front and center. And everybody's excited, watching Super Bowl commercials. There's one, the Budweiser commercial. That could be our dog. It's a yellow lab. I don't know if y'all have seen that yet, but it could be Millie. And when you see it, you're like, oh, my gosh. And I guarantee you there'll be more yellow labs. Well, there can't be more sold because there's only X number of puppies available. But, I mean, everybody's going to be scrambling for a yellow lab.
The price of yellow labs going up.
That's right.
Super Bowl, you get asked all these different questions. Mahomes got asked about his dad. Andy Reid got asked about presidential endorsement. I mean, it's just wild off-the-wall things. The question I have about not just this year's Super Bowl, but moving forward with the careers of both Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, has Mahomes done enough already to already surpass Montana? This would be his 3rd Super Bowl win in 5 years. He's got this a 4th Super Bowl appearance in 5 years. I mean, does he have to get to 4 to surpass Montana? Or
I think that's a flip of the coin there. It's pretty,
about as close
pretty good.
As it gets.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, here's the deal. I can't hardly remember I have to look it up to think about what Joe Montana did. Right now, Patrick Mahomes is the deal. Well, and whether one was highly successful in his era, this one is he's at the middle of his run, I think. I don't think he's at the end of his run.
28.
And Mahomes has not had a Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
As great as Montana was, he had the greatest wide receiver maybe to ever play the game out there lined up wide.
Yeah. How are we going to think of Tyreek Hill, when it's all over?
And
I think he's pretty good too.
Yeah, here's the deal.
But probably not in the same breath as Jerry Rice.
Yeah. No, but he's pretty darn good. Now, they're different. I would rather be around Rice. I don't think I would really want to spend much time around Hill, from what I've heard.
I'm with you. So on that note, I think what's crazy about Mahomes, right, is they lose. Hill's a top 5, maybe top 3 receiver in the league. Offense isn't great throughout the season, but postseason rolls around, he's on, man. You can't beat him. And Kelsey is going to go down as a top 3 tight end in NFL history. So I don't know if he's right up there with Rice, but he's pretty darn close. What I want to know is, let's say that they win this year, and Travis Kelce has a joint retirement with his older brother Jason, and they call it quits, and he rides off the sunset with Taylor and everything. Can Mahomes still do it after that? Can you lose Hill and get to the Super Bowl? Already proven that. But can you lose your running mate the past 6 years, who's been arguably the best pass catcher in that time period in any position, wide receiver, tight end, whatever? Can you lose him too and then still get there? Because that's what made Brady so great, right? He had the first kind of roundabout guys. He had the Deion Branches. He had the Wes Welkers. Then he had Randy Moss for a little bit and had just a career year. Then he moved on to Gronk. Then he moved on to Julian Edelman. Then he moved on to Amendola. He had these 2 separate title periods where he was elite. A lot more elite in the second round offensively. But if Mahomes can show you, because I tend to agree with you, Clay, if he's in the middle of his time right now and he's still wheeling and dealing, even after you have Kelsey retire, let's say even Andy Reid retires, and he still goes out and gets one like Brady did, then he is the unquestioned second-best quarterback of all time. And you might even be able to say that now based on what he's accomplished. And, again, 6 years as a starting quarterback. He has done no less than go to an AFC championship in 6 years. That is unbelievable to see what he's done to this point.
Yeah, the thing that I'll counter to that, he's going to lose players, but he's going to get players. They're going to get better wide receivers than they have right now. I mean, everybody knows that, and there's lots of ways to get good wide receivers. There's trades, which they traded to get to change their team with Tyreek Hill. They didn't want to pay that salary, right? And I think there'll be some free agents that want to play with Patrick Mahomes.
You think?
And there might be a tight end or two that are really good. There's if you got Patrick Mahomes is the starting point, and I really like their offensive line. And if you watch I think the key to the game though is not all the players that you've been talking about. It's that secondary that the Chiefs have. I mean, it's McDuffie, their slot corner. He's the best in the game.
Snead too. I mean, they got the best.
Their secondary is terrific, and I think that's part. Lamar Jackson is like, I don't think he had any idea that every time he dropped back, they'd be in man and there wouldn't be anybody for him to throw to, and they had two spies, so they're good enough in the secondary that they really have some flexibility in how they play up front. They start off the game, they rush 4, see if they can get there. If they don't, they rush 5 because they know their secondary is going to hold up. Well, if that doesn't work, then they rush 6. They will get to the quarterback. I mean, I think Brock Purdy is going to see completely different defense, intensity, and pressure than what he saw. The Lions did not cause him any problems. I mean, he'd look out. If they're playing man, he just took off running. I don't think you're going to see – but these coaches are so good at making adjustments and seeing, and it'll be a different kind of game. You can tell I'm excited. I like to watch this level.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It'll be fun. Hey guys, give me just a second to introduce the Cottages at the Park by Buffington Homes to everyone. It's the newest community from Buffington Homes, and it's in a great location on the north side of Springdale, just steps away from the newly constructed Shaw Family Park. It's close to the area's largest employers like Tyson Foods, J.B. Hunt, the U of A, Walmart, and more. It's close to Children's Northwest as well. The Cottages at the Park has a relaxed, welcoming feel. Big front porches, shady sidewalks, lush green spaces that make it easy to enjoy the outdoors and meet new neighbors there. You'll find a selection of single-story and two-story homes at the Cottages at the Park that are perfect for all life stages. There are several available right now this spring that are ready to be moved into. To learn more about the Cottages at the Park, visit BuffingtonHomesAR.com/Hog Radio. That's BuffingtonHomesAR.com/Hog Radio. Buffington Homes are the Cottages at the Park, helping you build a life you'll love.
Clay, we got about a minute. Thoughts on Toby Keith passing away earlier this week? We played a lot of songs yesterday.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to think back of what he's it's like, man, I used to just hum and sing Red Solo Cup until I was I just sing it over and over and over with him, and I got to meet him a couple of times when I been to Oklahoma. Talked to Barry Switzer this week about something I'm going to do a couple of weeks, and of course they were really close, and he was devastated. Everybody knew that it was coming. He's had that stomach cancer for a while. One of the big treats that I had at the end of one of my Colorado fishing trips, 3 or 4 of us went up to Cheyenne, the Frontier Days Rodeo, and they have the rodeo during the day, then they have concerts at night, and it was Joe Nichols was the lead act. Joe got us tickets, and then we got to see Toby Keith after that, and we met him at the meet and greet. Joe set that up, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah, and
he's awesome.
Spent time in Fort Smith, got some ties to Oaklawn, and was involved in horse racing there, involved in the Greenwood community. So with their lure company down there, so had a lot of Arkansas ties.
Didn't know that. Yeah, I learned something.
That was kind of fairly recent, but something he was involved in as an owner there. Hey, Bet Saracen going to be busy this Sunday. If you don't have the Bet Saracen app, download it to your phone for the big game on Sunday. They'll have all the prop bets and all the fun stuff to go along with the Super Bowl. So if you haven't downloaded your Arkansas's favorite sports betting app, you need to do that right now. Go to the Apple App Store and just type in Bet Saracen. You can go to betsaracen.com and see all the videos of how to use it, how to play, and all the cool features. So this Sunday, I would assume Super Bowl Sunday's the busiest sports wagering day of the year. I can't imagine it's not. So be ready with the Bet Saracen app.
Oh, so I read the story, Tommy. They're going to see a 35% increase on what's typically bet on the Super Bowl to this year. It's like
because of Taylor Swift, or just because of the
Vegas,
phone?
T-Swift, the whole shebang.
Shop local, eat local, be local. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
And giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Technology without the headache.
Wheeler Power Sports is happy to announce their biggest clearance sale with combined factory and dealer savings up to $5,000 off now through Valentine's Day. Kawasaki Terexes and KRX 1000s are up to $3,500 off. 2023 Polaris Razors are up to $5,185 off. Kimco side-by-side starting at $67.99. Polaris generators in stock for less than $800. Wheeler Power Sports near downtown Fort Smith or online at WheelerPowersports.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Subiaco in Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Hi, just keep up the good work. You're a star in the making. I appreciate everything you say and everything you do.
12:55 to go. Mark, top of the key. Three-pointer good.
Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline. 877-377-6963.
I want to get Clay's take coming up about the Devonte Davis news. We hadn't got a chance to talk about him just yet, as we heard the introduction from Merrick Musselman on Monday night. He is back with the team. Should expect him to play on Saturday, and we'll discuss with Clay coming up.
Hey, if you need some help losing weight, our friends at Vici Aesthetics and Wellness can put you on a program with semaglutide or Teraziptide. If you know someone that's been on the shot and they're having success, I've had success with it. I know you will as well. These FDA-approved weight loss medications are truly game changers. Reduce the cravings you've got now that really make it tough and stressful on the weight loss program you're trying now. Reduce your appetite so you just want less to eat. This is a program that works and will be effective for you in losing the weight you want to lose, and you'll see immediate results. 479-343-8424. Hey, sometimes we all need some help getting headed in the right direction. And Vici Aesthetics and Wellness can do that for you. 479-343-8424. Weekly check-ins. Your first visit will be with their doctor. You'll be on a program that will be successful for you. It's worked for me. It'll work for you. 479-343-8424 for Vici Aesthetics and Wellness.
Clay, I don't think I've heard you discuss this just yet on any of the programs. I can't remember if you were on halftime yesterday, but I didn't think this was going to happen. I was pretty open. I don't think he's coming back. He is. I don't know his role the remaining 9 games, but how do you expect this to play out, and how do you think this really got to this point and transpired where he was allowed to come back?
Well, first of all, I think we've heard several times, Eric Musselman really likes Devo. I mean, really, and he's a big part of what they did the last 3 years. So there's some appreciation for that, and I think the other part is that you've got a head coach that's pretty flexible with, he understands that he can get after players and push them right to the edge. We've seen him do it. I mean, he is, he's a ball of nerves during the game. You just can see that. And he gets after players, they get after him, and they go on. So if there was something that happened, I think that it's clear that this head coach, can forgive and forget, and he will He will move forward. And I thought it could happen because I'd never seen anything that suggested closure. There just wasn't anything that, it's like he stepped away from the team. It didn't say quit. He didn't say he was gone forever. I mean, just said he stepped away. And that means he can step back. And so, we didn't talk about it much because it weren't sure what was going on. But I think fans should accept him for what he is. He's Devo. And for whatever reason, he rides, it looks like an emotional roller coaster. And, he had a bad week or a bad 2 weeks or whatever, and then, needed some time away. And he may really help them, or, I've had a chance to read would you call it your agenda or your plan? What is it, Ty, that you do put together?
Hog slop? Is that a good way to put it?
No. I mean, no, it's it's the schedule for what you think the show might be. We don't have to do it. Yeah, but it's your rundown. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said, is it senior Devo? And I kind of thought about it. Well, he's going to let him have his senior moment, and he may not play much. He might play a lot though. I don't have a feel for that.
Yeah, and I know that the rotation has changed. And I also,
by the way, did you send that at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, 3:30. I forgot to send it the night before. I went to bed, woke up, I said I forgot to send it, so I sent it.
Okay,
morning.
well, Gene and I both kind of looked at my phone.
Oh, jeez, I wake y'all up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I mean, I've got daughters, and I'm always going to have my phone by the bedside just in case they you're a dad forever. So anyway,
I'm actually, this is not sarcastic.
It wasn't like we thought, damn you, Ty. We were just like, Ty, what's going on?
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
You say that?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people in my life say that. I'm just
no, I don't say that. I didn't say it.
I'm bad, so my phone goes on Do Not Disturb at 8:30. It turns off loud and goes to silent. I put it down, face down.
See, I don't know how to do all that.
I just then I go to bed, and I wake up to text and calls, and I'm just I respond to them, and then I'm like, oh crap, it's 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. I shouldn't be doing this. And
so is that when you kind of get your day started to be in there at 6 and do the show?
Yeah,
3:30.
Alarm goes off a little. It's been 3:45 the last 2 or 3 years, but it's 3:30 now. Unfortunately,
it's like a fish story though. It gets
it
gets bigger
like
and
duck
earlier
hunters.
every time he tells the story. It's 5 minutes earlier.
Well, he was up at 3:30. I promise you. You got proof of it too. So
listen,
whatever, Tommy.
When you hire a junkyard dog, even though he looks like a pup, you get a junkyard dog. And I don't know why you're so standoffish and pushback sometimes.
Some would say all bark,
valiant effort for this radio show and this radio.
See,
show.
I did not think you were a junkyard dog. I thought you were a future star. I heard the promo.
Thank you, Clay. Thank you. That's a good promo, isn't it? I did not pay him to say that either.
More like
yeah, but you didn't delete it either, did you?
Hell no, I didn't delete that.
You notice anytime someone says something good about anyone else, it never gets clipped out. Only the
I
stuff
know.
about Ty.
I know.
He never misses any of it.
Do you not know? I mean, listen, I know this technology. You know how to do that. If you want to do it, you can do it.
It's not my job to do it.
Oh, it's not my job. It's my job to put the good stuff about me out there.
Ty, just in case you hadn't figured it out, you are his job.
Exactly.
Oh, it's an easy job.
We're brought to you by some days. We're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms. They provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry to braces, implants, and cosmetics. 3 great doctors, Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer, give their patients better lives and a better smile. And same-day crown service now available. 226-3500 for an appointment or RileyFarmDental.com.
Do you want to listen to your favorite Hit That Line podcast? We've got you covered. Just click on the podcast tab at the top of hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get ready for a new year of work with limited time savings on Bobcat equipment at Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas in Rogers. Get as low as 0% for 72 months on a Bobcat compact tractor, or choose a free front-end loader when you buy with cash. Special offers are also available on Bobcat zero-turn mowers with financing as low as 0% for 48 months, or rebates up to $900 on select models. Call Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas or come by to get these great deals. Hurry, these offers end March 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Hey, this is Arkansas wide receiver Isaiah Satania, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Woods and Irons. The world's first AI smart face designed using real player data. Cobra Dark Speed Woods and Irons. The fastest driver Cobra has ever built. Start the new year off with a lesson and feel more confident on the course. Contact Matt Brooks at 646-4430. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Your home
home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
South Carolina Gamecocks keep on winning basketball games. They win last night again, 68-65 over Ole Miss. 3-point victory at home in Columbia. Coach of the Year, Lamont Paris. I don't think there's any question at this point unless they just completely flounder. Picked last in the SEC, dead last in the SEC, and yet they are what they are at this point. And they're on top of the Pradco Pyramid of Power, which was once again solidified last night, Tommy.
Yep, big win, and I don't know if they're going to finish there at the end of the year, but right now with wins over Kentucky, wins over Tennessee, wins over Georgia, another win last night. I mean, the head-to-head just makes them the best team right now.
Yeah, B.J. Mack's been really good for them. Michi Johnson's their outstanding point guard. Study's the kid that came over from Vanderbilt that can knock down some threes. Wright, and there's one other guy that stands out. Right, Gray's their big guy that comes off the bench. Clay, I think I was talking with you about this a week or so ago. I mean, just on both ends of the floor, they always seem to be on the same page. And I watch basketball teams sometimes that have more talent, but either, don't often do their own thing or don't listen to a coach at times. Those guys seem like they're always on page with Lamont Paris and what he's trying to instill there.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is they share the ball. They make the extra pass. They don't turn it over, and then they force turnovers. And they seem to have a way to play help defense. They double it outside, and blow up plays, disrupt things, and they don't get beat backdoor. They don't give up anything easy, and they get easy stuff. First of all, their shot selection is great, and they will continue to work it, and they play inside out. When they beat Arkansas, I went back and rewatched that game because I really enjoyed watching them play, and I was a little bit surprised because I didn't see that coming. I did not know that they had really improved their team by that measure from last year, but they have,
yep.
and that's they still haven't jumped up the polls or anything. I mean, don't you think they're still kind of underrated? And
no question.
Nobody's accepting yet what they are and what they're going to be for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I don't trust them
Which,
yet.
Again, there hasn't been – I know Frank Martin took them to a Final Four. I think that was my senior year of college, like in 2017. But it's been a while since South Carolina has had a lot of basketball success, if any, for that matter. So
at least on the men's side.
Yeah. The women's with what Don Staley's done there is fantastic. But, the men
they're 15th in the poll this week at 19-3. Tennessee, now they've played some tough competition. They're number 6 at 16-5. Alabama 16-6. They've had a good.
See that
they're number 16,
and they won last.
That's just out of whack.
So they're 20.
Auburn is 18-4. They're number 12.
Yeah, I mean they're the best team in the SEC, and they continue to show it. In a lot of these games, they're not really that close. Tennessee kind of caught up at the end, but I mean South Carolina, they had them the whole game, convincing games. So. And I mean, they made Kentucky look bad, to be honest. So I just, and they're winning on the road, so they're going to be there at the end, I think.
Yep. Now on the other side of things, Kentucky blasted Vandy 109-77. That's not the interesting story. The interesting story is college basketball insider Gary Parrish, who usually doesn't just say things to say things.
Nope.
Says that Kentucky and Cal are in a broken marriage right now. He's on the the Alabama radio show, not the round table, but it'll come to me in a minute. But he was on an Alabama radio show, and he said the only thing that's really keeping Cal from going their separate ways, Kentucky, is this huge salary, the lifetime contract that he's making at this point. But, guys, they haven't won a national championship since 2012. Now, they went 2 years later. But all his past success, and there's a good chunk of it, there's plenty of NBA draft picks behind it, but it's not recent. And Kentucky fans are getting frustrated because they keep seeing these recruiting classes. They see the investment in facilities, NIL, and everything else, and it's not again it's not showing up when Kentucky's side of things. And Matt actually, I was listening to halftime yesterday. Matt kind of spoke to it. He thinks Cal's closer to retirement or moving on from Kentucky than a lot of others think, and I tend to agree with him, Clay.
Yeah, so it's a different place. I'm talking about Kentucky basketball. It's not like anything else in any other school, any other sport. It is their fans. If you're not winning national championships, then they're done with you. I mean, and they're done with Calipari. And when I talk to Kentucky basketball fans, and they're everywhere. I mean, it's easy to be a Kentucky basketball fan. You know, they're scattered all over, and they're like, he's lost his fire, he's lost his touch. You know, it's all those different things that you hear from fan bases that it's been 60 years of expecting national championships, and when they don't win one, no matter what reason you can say is obvious, they're like, well, let's get rid of the coach. I mean, it's just you got to feed the monster.
Mm-hmm. It is a difficult climate in Lexington when it comes to basketball. Not so much football and baseball, but definitely basketball. You do have some good games on tonight. LSU against Tennessee on the SEC Network. Bama against Auburn. I'm going to be watching that. That's on the ESPN2. A&M against Missouri on ESPN2 following that. And then Georgia against Mississippi State. I tend to think, guys, Auburn's going to get a victory over Alabama tonight. But we'll just have to wait and see. Again, this is a rematch from a game that Alabama won earlier this season. Bama's at the top of the league right now in terms of conference standings, but I think that Auburn's going to get them back tonight.
So what's the over-under? You know, we love prop bets for technical fouls tonight in the Auburn-Alabama game. 2, 3?
It's got to be at least 1. So I'd say 2's a
1.5.
Yeah, I'd go with the over. I think like 2, maybe 2.5. I think it might push it too. So if you set it at 2.5, I think it'd get to 3. Oates is a firecracker. Pearl's a firecracker.
Well, the players, you know, they it was chippy the last time they played.
Yeah.
I mean, they almost squared off a couple of times. You know, guy threw a ball at him. You know, after he got fouled, it's like just chunked it at his feet.
And you'll have an elite crew on this game. You'll have a Shows, an Oglesby, someone like that out there. So yeah, I'd go with the over.
But the technicals will happen, I think, in this game.
I was reading a story about Big 12 officiating. So Baylor was playing, I think, Kansas State this weekend, and Brett Yormack, their not athletics director, commissioner, has been very, again, staunch about coaches staying in the box, sending out memos to officials and whatnot. Scott Drew's never been thrown out of game while coaching in Waco, ever, in his entire life. That's just something done. But apparently, he stepped out of the box too many times in that game, and they tossed him because they were trying to, again, according to this memo, trying to reel in coaches in the box. And he's not an over-the-top, cussing. He doesn't even sweat. Baylor has this thing where, you have to run after practice for every swear word. It's wild what they do in Waco. But he got tossed this weekend.
Kelvin Sampson was ejected last night on Big Monday.
Big 12, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna.
Well, they have a coordinator, and you say it's the commissioner. I probably more the coordinator, Curtis Shaw. He is a no nonsense, toe the line guy, and if you want to make it in the officiating world in his system, you better be willing to hand out technical fouls.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I watched the Kansas State game, and with 3 seconds left, there's a timeout. I mean, there's meaningless free throws going to be shot. Kansas State's got it, and their fans are going crazy. And the athletic director went out on the court, in the middle of the court, and pointed at the students and just shook his head no, we're not storming the court. This isn't what we do. And they didn't. I mean, that they were going to storm the court, and he kind of made the money sign, we're going to get fined. We're going to get fined. Please, please. And you could see that. So, please don't. And they didn't. I have not. That's the first time I've seen that work.
And you've got, if I remember correctly, a Springdale Harbor kid that's anchoring that basketball team, and Tyler Perry, who I know Arkansas was.
He had some big shots.
He's a
good player,
big
shots in that game.
Kid went to North Texas to start his career.
Yep.
Really, really good player. So he got connections at 26 points, 7 of 15. Yeah, he was unbelievable in that Big Monday game.
Yeah, they knocked him down a couple of times, and then he just would get up and go make a big shot. It's that's not going to bother me.
All right, last thing, your SEC update. Y'all see Carson Beck got himself a Lambo. That's worth at least $270,000. The starting Georgia quarterback, who, like most in college football, expected to be making anywhere from the $1 to $2 million range. I don't know if he got this as an NIL deal where he didn't have to pay for it or he just bought it himself, but you got a 20-something-year-old that's driving around in a Lamborghini. I'm sure he's going to adhere to the speed limit, especially, here's the worst part, especially with everything that's gone on with Georgia football and cars, then you see this. Like, this is not a good look for Athens in that football program, I think.
Yeah, in that, the red dirt, roads, in Georgia, and that, the Brooks and Dunn song, and that where people tear them all to pieces.
Yeah, you saw them recently in concert, didn't you? Was that a year ago?
Yeah, in Kansas City.
Yeah,
it was. Yep. I've been 2 concerts in Kansas City, George Strait and then Brooks and Dunn, and they're both really good. So, would you let somebody else drive your Lamborghini?
No. I would not have a Lamborghini. I am very comfortable in my Toyota Corolla or Toyota Camry, and then
he would be like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman. He'd be grinding them gears trying to figure out how to drive the Lambo.
Yeah,
that's what it'd sound like if Ty was trying to drive the Lambo.
I had a couple.
Ty can't drive a stick shift. He can't.
No chance. I had some friends that did it when they were in school. I am not able to do that. I tried then, and I failed then, and I would fail now. And I'm fully aware of that.
All right, that's your SEC update. It is brought to you by Arts Barbecue on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith with the big game Sunday. If you want to get some ribs, some brisket, and some of their great barbecue to munch on during the game, call now, 452-2550. You can pick it up on Saturday. Enjoy it all day on Sunday leading up to the Super Bowl. If you're like me, you'd have it all eaten up, but before kickoff, then you'd have to figure out something, order a pizza or something. Don't forget Saturdays, $1 off all burgers. They do that every Saturday at Arts Barbecue, so be sure and stop in there for a great burger with that house-smoked bacon. Maybe get you a cold brew to go along with it as well. Arts Barbecue, burgers, and more. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. That phone number again, 452-2550 for Arts Barbecue.
I'll leave you with this on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. A Turkish woman filed a lawsuit against her husband for not showering often enough. Is once a day enough, or do you need to shower in the morning and at night? Is it twice a day?
Once a day.
Once a day, Big C?
Well, it depends on where you live. Like if you live in Florida with all that humidity, you got to shower twice a day. Yeah, and same thing in New Orleans. You go down there, it's like you take a shower, 6 hours later you're covered in sweat.
Yeah. What about you, Tommy? You're in Arkansas. Is it
3 times a day?
3 times a day.
3 times. That's yeah. He's got some BO problems.
Yeah.
Well, deodorant and cologne sometimes doesn't mask the bad smell.
It's just all that hard. It's all that sweat equity and that sweat work, all that outdoor physical activity I do. You just sweat through your clothes.
It accumulates. I get it. All right, that's going to do it for us. Have a great day here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom.